In the lesson before, we looked at altered chords. In this lesson, we're going to take a look at chord functions and the idea that every chord has a specific job to do. So let's get started. Back in the Where Do Chords Come From lesson, I showed you where chords come from within the scale. As a quick recap, we just took this note, skipped this note, grabbed this one, skipped this note, and grabbed this one to get a C major chord. I also said that we could add on this B note to get a C major 7 chord. If we continue that pattern and do it for every single note in the C major scale, we get all of these chords. These are the diatonic chords of the C major scale. If you don't know how to read sheet music, here's a quick example. Basically, every line represents a letter: E, G, B, D, and F. Some people remember that as every good boy does fine, and then the space in between spells out face, F-A-C and E. Or you can just remember that it's E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, and then back to G. Okay, so every one of these chords actually has a job to do, okay? These three are tonic chords, and they provide a sense of rest and resolve. They're also known as the home chords. The reason why they behave this way is because they have a lot of notes in common. This is especially obvious when we made these chords 7th chords. In the key of C major, the 1 and the 3 chord have these 3 notes in common: E, G, and B. Also in the key of C major, the 1 and the 6 chord have these 3 notes in common: C, E, and G. All 3 of these chords have these 2 notes in common, and any one of these chords can be substituted for the 1 chord. Next up, we have the subdominant family. These 2 chords right here, the 2 and the 4, are going to take us somewhere. So let's see why. Both the 2 and the 4 chord have these notes in common: F, A, and C. All 3 of these chords only have 1 note in common, and that's the C note. And that's why they tend to take you somewhere else. Finally, we have the dominant family, the 5 and the 7 chords. These chords create tension and want to be resolved back to one of the tonic chords. So let's see why. The 5 and 7 chords both share these 3 notes, and B and F are a tritone apart. We already learned that the tritone is a very dissonant interval, and that leaves these chords kind of sounding unresolved. Both of these chords want to resolve to a tonic chord, and they can both be used interchangeably. So here's a quick recap. We have the tonic family, which consists of the 1, the 3, and the 6 chord, and all of these can be substituted for each other. So I can play a 3 as our first chord or whatever. Then we have our subdominant family. These kind of take us somewhere else, and these are the 2 and the 4 chords. Again, they can both be used interchangeably. Then these kind of move us towards the dominant family, which is the 5 and the 7 chords. Again, can both be used interchangeably, and both of these push us back to the tonic family. So there you go, guys. That's a quick demonstration of what chord functions are and a description of the tonic family, subdominant family, and the dominant family. So now what you guys can do is just start writing your own chord progressions using this technique. And I guarantee it's going to sound great. And try switching the keys up too. Don't just stay in the key of C major. Try doing like an E major or G major, whatever. Now notice I said major keys. And in the next lesson, we're going to talk about minor keys and chord functions in that. Hope to see you guys there.